Thanks for joining us again. The finale, Jared. Slasher, back-to-back episodes in this particular podcast to finish it off, episodes 7 and 8. We'll really dig deep into this. We'll see if our theories came to fruition. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, as we were talking about, I've been tied up in knots all season about what I think's going on and what's not going on, and so I would say it's a big no.
Do you think you still have a job?
No, but neither do you. So we'll start our own. We'll start our own private investigation. Investigation firm.
I don't think we've got a lot of runs on the board. Fucking hell.
No, look, I think it was the thing that I enjoyed about it overall was that once we did get to the end, stuff that we had tossed out there was brought up.
Yeah.
But we were never really able to pin anything down all the way through. And previously, you could nail it down. Everything was, unfolded as expected. This time, they tried to really throw some curveballs at you, which made it more difficult, I guess. Which was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I guess, in a way, the outcome did surprise a little bit, but we'll get to that. Look, before we actually get started, just a quick one. There was a teaser trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer, the TV series.
Yep.
Came out the other day.
Yep.
Fucking dreadful.
Yeah, nothing about it got me excited.
What the fucking world was that?
I don't know.
It just looked like shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were intending with that one because it didn't seem to show much of anything, really. I mean, we got a party, but that was about it.
Yeah, and we got some people, macking up and stuff, but that was about it. And a text message at the end. I don't know. I'm assuming it's still a slasher.
Well, I mean, it's funny that we're talking about that now because we've spoken about some of the difficulties that these shows have trying to run with that slasher format for a TV length run. So I don't know. I don't know what they've done, but I mean, you couldn't really get a sense of what the show's going to be like at all.
Yeah. And I saw there was a poster for it as well, which just had characters' faces on it.
Yeah.
That was it. But that doesn't even... Who's running marketing at Amazon Prime, for fuck's sake?
I don't know.
I mean, I always sort of bitch a little bit that sometimes trailers give away too much.
Yeah.
But if they're trying to be sort of cagey, they have not succeeded at all. All they've done is succeeded in turning people off it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I looked at it.
I was this close to chucking it in.
Well, that's the thing. You've got people like us that are pretty much rusted on. We'll check it out because that's in our wheelhouse, right? But if you got anyone that's on the fence and they see that, it's going to be a pass, surely.
Surely, yeah. Look, I'm hoping it's just a bad trailer.
Yeah.
And that it's a better show than that.
Mm.
And if it does take elements from the book, or at least takes the idea of, we've got some time to build characters, as opposed to the movies, which didn't do that at all, then we might have something.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Perhaps we're just expecting something and the trailer just showed us nothing of it. Even the text message just came across as your classic clunky slasher sort of threat, like it was, I don't know.
Yeah. Nah. Need to get a little bit tighter here, but look, I haven't written it off. Obviously, you've got Amazon Prime, so,
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for it.
And look, why wouldn't you when Welcome to Sudden Death is the sort of fare that they're throwing out at us?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's definitely going to be on here. We've got a 300th episode coming up.
Yeah, we were waiting it out.
You think that's right?
For some reason, you were on the trail that it was coming out on Netflix, and we're sitting there going, "What the fuck's Netflix doing?" I don't think they ever had it here. So.
No, I think they had it in the US. I think.
Yeah.
They just didn't have it here. I stumbled across it and was this close to reaching for my wallet in a Target one day. I'm pretty sure I went for. I was like a gunslinger. I went for it. And I went, no, fuck, $15. Come on.
I thought you were going to say you
Get
went
this
for
on
it
Netflix.
and found that there was nothing in the chamber, so you just had to pass.
Hell. Well, there was a multitude of reasons why I didn't get it. I also looked at the cover art and went, fuck,
Yeah.
this looks awful.
It looks pretty cheap. It does look very cheap. But now, you know,
You know what?
now
Michael
there's
J. White-
prepaid, you can get on board.
Yeah, it's correct. Correct. All right. Away from that bullshit. Slasher, episode 7 and 8. I just think we should just package them together, e.g., what we thought of them.
Yep.
We won't have any theories because obviously the outcome will be in these 2 episodes.
Yes.
And we will spoil that outcome.
Yeah,
We will
absolutely.
spoil that outcome. So make sure that if you have not seen them, you do not go any further. Your overall take on episode 7 and 8.
So, as you sort of mentioned, or we've had conversations about prior, it's the whole revelation. You could probably say was disappointing. I didn't mind it so much. I wasn't kind of like that's the worst possible way they could have gone, but it also didn't blow me away. It didn't stand out as one of those kind of top-notch twists that we've come across. I did sort of like how the revelation of the killer kind of ended up falling by the wayside a little bit. There was still some road to travel until we got down to the end. But yeah, all in all, it wrapped it up in a decent fashion, not overly mind-blowing. But yeah, a fun sort of end to what's been a fun series to follow.
Yeah, I would probably agree. I didn't hate the ending. I just felt when you actually dig into it and look at it, the revelation of the killer doesn't work on a physical perspective and some other angles. It doesn't really work that well. But I do agree with you. That was kind of like side to some further stuff that occurred, which I thought was okay. The stuff that happened after that was actually more interesting. It wasn't, mind-blowing either, but it was an interesting way to finish it, I guess. And we'll go into that a little bit more, but from a perspective of the series as a whole, definitely the best of the entire run.
Yeah, easily. I would actually say for mine, it's been the most enjoyable of those sort of small series of entries we've got that have tried to be a slasher on a TV length run.
Yeah, like Scream and those type of things.
Harper's Island, those sort of ones.
This worked the best. I think they kind of got all their ducks in a row for the most part. There was a bit of fun to it. There was a little bit of dark humour to it. It was extremely violent, and I felt overall the twists and turns for the most part worked. But I do have some negatives with regards to our killer reveal for me personally. But straight off the bat for me, the gore in these 2 episodes is fucking outrageous. I mean,
yeah.
when he strings Afra up between 2 trees and saws her in half
Yeah.
in full view of everybody, I'm just like, Christ, shit's falling out of her all over the place.
Yeah, that was
Unbelievable.
nasty. Very nasty.
Very nasty. And then Grace is then killed by having I think it was molten gold
Yeah.
poured into her throat.
Yes, and I know we've seen stuff like that on similar things on Game of Thrones and even Spiral. There was something similar in Spiral, if I recall.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking very nasty. Very nasty.
Yes. I was very happy with the whole subplot about how Cronenberg had actually killed his first wife. Well, there was insinuations to that.
Yeah, and certainly it kind of reframed Grace. I was a big fan of the way that it did that. I was a big fan of how it sort of took what we had seen of her in the episode when we spoke after that initial one, I kind of just ruled her out immediately because of she was sort of an archetype that we'd seen, and I thought, no, it's too plain. So when they throw that sort of stuff out, I was like, yeah, that was good. Again, they're sort of subverting the expectations a little bit with that sort of stuff and adding to the backstory about, how him and her got together.
Yeah.
And it was, it certainly added a little more to it, and it added a little more sort of fuel for thought before things went the way they did. Which again has been one of the issues. Is it seemed like each time a character got a backstory in an episode, you knew they were probably going to get done in, and it sort of happened with her as well. But I was happy to see that they actually did sort of try to mix it up a little bit with that character.
But we were moving towards the finale, so I can forgive that. And I did like the idea of we still had to play the game. The others weren't interested. She did it anyway.
Well,
the whole thing of
it wasn't necessarily an issue for this episode, but I guess through the series, what I'm saying is, as soon as the character started to get into, basically after the first two episodes with Jaden and Seamus, you were like, okay, so if we get deep in with this sort of stuff, we knew it was going to play out. So, for these episodes, it was not really a drama because we do know we're getting down to the end of it and that sort of thing. But it was sort of, all in all, I was happy that they did kind of save it for that character, because I thought she didn't get one because it was so sort of clear, and that she was going to be on the periphery a bit more. So, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciated that. But again, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the fact that they sort of cooked up the whole idea of, well, if there's only one person plays, they're the winner and the loser. Yeah. And all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And we came close to, the fortune, it was almost like we was in the grasp.
Yeah.
That we can get Spencer's fortune. But then obviously, it suddenly turns and that happened.
So I dug the way that it played out in this episode. Yeah. That, as you said, they tried to stop her from playing it, but she eventually got there and started the game without everyone else. And then, as you said, they kind of rolled that into what if no one else plays and all that sort of thing, which was, I mean, a little bit silly in certain aspects, but again, it was a fun way to go. It was just changing things up on us a little bit, and keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very much appreciative of all that. And for the most part, I felt the episode was on par with the others. Do you have other specific likes there?
Well, I mean, I did have to laugh. I thought to myself, gee, it's good to see Cronenberg alive and kicking, as we predicted, Adam, when they open the freezer and he's clearly dead and they start pulling his guts out. So that was good fun, especially when they started. I mean, shit, they started squeezing things out of his colon. I didn't need to see that.
yeah, that was in the last episode, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm squeezing shit out of him and going rifling through his fucking guts like. It was funny.
I mean, at one point,
like it was,
At one point, I think what she's holding is sausage, and she basically says to him, "Oh, it's just like sausage." So
oh God! And I love the fact that they kept cutting to his fucking lifeless face. Oh, shit! Come on!
Oh man!
In a way, though, it was kind of darkly humorous because it was like they were just desecrating, destroying this bloke's body, and they were showing him no respect whatsoever.
Yeah,
but he showed no respect to anyone else.
That's right. It was quite funny, especially when Vincent, Vincent's talking tough, and 2 seconds later he's there going. Yeah,
you know what?
I liked it.
I am fucking forfeiting my stake in the inheritance. I'm just gonna go nah.
Yeah.
Surely he didn't hide it in there.
Look, I'll say if we don't have any give me some dishwashing gloves or something. If not, I forfeit.
Yeah. Minimum. Fuck, put a mask on for Christ's sake. Put a bit of bloody Old Spice under your nose.
Yeah, do something. Yeah, that was gross. And I guess my last, as we said, we're sort of talking about the 2 episodes in altogether. I had less likes for episode 8.
Yeah.
Episode 7, I think I was more favourable. Episode 8, I probably had more dislikes. But the last one, the Theo and Vincent fight, Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
that boiled
Well,
over very quickly.
Saws his exactly, and then saws his fucking head off in half.
Because I liked how they were sort of going through the tunnels and then showing that little flashback. And then, of course, Cronenberg, again, being the biggest asshole in the world, starts slapping the shit out of the kid. But then kind of going in that and then flashback and then having them sort of fight it out. Again, it was fucking over the top and probably a little bit too much, but I did there was a little bit of excitement and a bit of tension to it. It sort of kicked off the fact that, okay, we're not finished here.
Yeah, true.
Even though you knew
And
something more was to come, it just, that's how
I actually thought the end of it, the whole end portion, which was, again, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it, is Liv obviously getting through, being pregnant, and then essentially, basically, the insinuation that she's just going to start another fucking family full of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like the previous one she's been involved in.
Yeah.
I kind of, although not blowing me away, I just kind of thought to myself, yeah, look, that's kind of what you would want.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of where this was always going to go.
Well, that's the thing. We always knew it was going to be Cronenberg had the clutches into somebody.
Yeah.
And that you were thinking the survivor was going to be someone who wasn't taken in by the influence. But as it turned out, the ending basically was everyone's fucking tainted by his bullshit, including Liv. And so, when she kind of survives, it's like, yeah, I felt I got the same thing, that all of these people were just filth and they were all there to be taken out. And even Liv, who is kind of the least of that, still has the mark on it, basically. And that, as you said, that's going to continue with that bloodline. So, yeah, I was satisfied enough with the ending. As I said, didn't blow me away, but it also didn't kind of ruin the series for me. I didn't feel like they just butchered it.
No, not at all. I actually felt the stuff that came after the killer's reveal was more satisfying.
Yeah.
Now, dislikes, straight off the bat. The killer's reveal it's fraught with problems for me. Like, physically, I don't see how that character could do that. Could do everything that she's done.
Yeah, there was aspects of that.
Every time we saw it, it had a male sort of look. And you talked about broad shoulders and everything. I do understand she could have been wearing like a shoulder pads or something.
Well, she actually was the only female one that did fit that bill, though. She was tall. She was fairly solid. She was
tall and solid. Yes. So I get where they were going, but parts of it don't really stack up for me. And when it was revealed to be her, I was kind of a little bit like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned briefly the look of the gentleman had that old-timey doctor-y kind of mask on, and we kind of said, it wouldn't be the doctor, because we were both kind of like, nah, you couldn't do that, or she might have been dead by that point, so we thought. And we did discuss the whole, seeing people, whether they died or not, particular characters we felt, we were clear that they were dead. Hers, I mean, the thing that didn't stack up for me, I got a couple of things that didn't stack up in the reveal as well. The first one for me was, so you've set up ending up at the wood chipper? You've put the body, you've put a body in there previous and set up that somehow you were going to end up at the wood chipper? That just seems a little bit, I mean, it seems a little bit silly.
Well, it's a wonderful coincidence that it would all fall into place.
Yeah, correct. I didn't like that so much. And the other one that got me is, so we're saying the doctor gave Cronenberg the assisted dying, the concoction of drugs that she was going to use to assist his dying, but then came back and fucking just put the acid or whatever it was in there just for shits and giggles, even though she'd already come to this agreement with him.
Because he wanted to die.
Yeah.
So there was no fucking point in burning out his heart.
Yeah,
or
correct.
whatever the fuck she did.
So I don't know.
He was going to die.
Yeah, I don't know what that one was about. I get the feeling that was again just a quick little. It was one to put us off the scent, but when you look at it, it doesn't really make all that much sense.
See, and then at the start of episode 8, they kind of started with her killing that artist bloke.
Yep.
And I was just like, none of this really works.
Well, that was O'Keefe's dad, right?
Like,
that's what they said.
Yeah. But still, it was just kind of like,
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I don't really need to know much about this, other than the fact that she squeezed his head into, and his brains came flying out. That was all kind of cool. But I just felt like it's just an additional piece to try and give her, to show us where she started and give her a little bit of backstory where she probably could have just said it. We didn't need fucking 5 minutes of that sort of shit.
Yeah, I was a little bit.
I just felt it felt a little bit like padding somewhat.
It's also very vague about it. Basically, just says, "Oh yeah, Spencer found me. He dug up and malpracticed at my thing, and then discovered that I love to kill people or whatever, and that was a test."
Yeah,
it was like, okay, all right.
You silly old prick.
I know it was a scummy bit of work,
like, what
but
the fuck
Jesus.
are you on?
I know he was
just quietly.
He's a scummy bit of work, but how do you go about just stumbling across that sort of shit?
And then find out that she likes to bloody squeeze people's brain out, and then seems to insert her fingers in there and go, ooh,
yeah,
what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Speaking of scummy, though, from Cronenberg, please correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't he eat some pussy on his wife's funeral day?
Yes, I believe he does. Yeah, that whole thing was
respect.
Well, that I've got no I expect that sort
of respect. Cronenberg.
I expect that sort of form from the bloke. I mean, I expect nothing
Wait
less
for
from
tomorrow.
him. But yeah, well, at least cover her up before you start moving on to the next bit of work, I suppose. But I mean, even prior to that, the turn from a Cronenberg with some seemingly some sort of emotions and some, Grace walks in on him in tears about his dying wife. It takes her about 45 seconds before he's thinking, "Oh, we're on here." This is, and he goes from a man with feelings to the biggest piece of shit on the earth. So yeah, that was quite funny, I thought.
Talk about going from 0 to 100. Holy shit!
Yeah. I mean, that's right. That's right.
You're at your wife. So it was her funeral day, correct? They just popped her in the ground?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just popped her in the ground and you think a bit of cunnilingus. Perfect antidote. Is that right?
Oh, dear. Yes, yep. And we're led to believe what? A week or so prior, or 2 weeks prior, you're on the bed crying about your wife dying, and now yeah, as you said. I mean, there's only a sprinkling of dirt on there, and you're already into the next bit of work you've got going on.
Yeah. I mean, it summed him up.
Yeah.
It summed his character up.
Yep.
But still, have 1 day's respect, you insensitive bastard. Shit.
Yeah. At least wait till you put the suit back in the bloody, back off to the dry cleaners or something like that.
Yeah. No. 1 day. That's all you say to her. You look at it and say, "We'll do it tomorrow."
Yeah. I've got I've got 6 to 8 hours of morning to do, and then we'll work it into the schedule.
Be here 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow.
Oh, God.
Also, I don't believe you can saw someone's head in half with a fucking garrote. I believe Gibbo mentioned in the Rambo Last Blood episode, your skull's made of bone.
Jesus Christ. It was like
you need something with a fucking engine
was
in
pretty
it to
quick,
get
too.
through there.
It was pretty quick. It was like, I don't know, it was like his skull was made of bloody watermelon or something. It just sliced straight through it.
Exactly. No, you can't just saw it out.
No,
That's not the way it works.
Correct.
Also, in episode 7, where Vincent comes across Afra's body cut in half and shit spilled out all over the place, and he looks down and he sees a ring that he likes in amongst the fucking debris, and picks it up and puts it on.
Yeah, but that's
Mate.
that's just par for the course for all of these people. It's like, you're dead, you don't need it anymore. So
Yes. It seems like you'll go through anyone's fucking colon for a bit of bloody jewellery or something.
That's right.
or cash.
Absolutely right.
Nothing's off limits here.
No, absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter where you've stuffed it, they'll find it.
Yeah. If it's been up your ass, we're going to find it. I didn't have much else than that. I just felt the last episode was a little bit lower in quality. The wrap up, perhaps wasn't quite as fun.
It was
as some of the previous episodes.
And I mean, that's even with slasher films, right? It's hard to stick the landing. It's hard to get. If you're going for a whodunit, you're going for a big twist. It's not easy to get right. So I think they did a reasonable job. I had a bit of a dislike with the way Theo was going on at the end. I mean, obviously, the dalliance, the sexual relations, the bloke just bloody lost his mind and started dribbling on with marriage and all this sort of shit. But he starts talking about the thing that I didn't get. He's talking about how I'll make you a Galloway and I'll cut you in and all this sort of stuff. And I'm sitting there going, hang on a minute, she's in the game, isn't she? So
she's already a Galloway.
What are you cutting her in on, mate? Like, I thought it was made clear that she's in the game, so she wins it. And as we see at the end. So I don't know what that was all about. I just kind of, the whole time he was talking with all that sort of stuff, I'm thinking, what? Like,
what was it? What was their relationship? Cousins?
Well, it was cousins once we discovered, once we had the revelation about Seamus being her dad. So, they're cousins. And so, number one, yes, she can prove that she's a Galloway, or, well, seemingly. This was one of those threads that was left behind, and there was a few of them. I don't know what the deal was, but I'm assuming he had something to prove that he was a Galloway. She was a Galloway, sorry. So that whole conversation, I was just kind of sitting there going, what are we talking about? This doesn't make sense because she's in the game, so she wins it, she gets it.
An absolute dildo as well.
Yeah. And the other part was the whole Dr. Trin stuff. She mentions she's got shit on him, and if she doesn't come back, that nobody can claim to be the heir, and no one, and she'll uncover what they'd done, that they'd all done something. So number one, we never really found out about Vincent. It was sort of all this stuff about.
He was a major red herring.
Yeah,
for the whole show.
They never showed anything about what he'd actually done. I mean, it basically just says I spent time in prison, I think, but they never sort of clarified what his was. They never mentioned what Liv's was, other than she was a cover-up while she served. But then, so Dr. Trin
Theo
dies.
ran over some kids, didn't he?
Yeah, Theo ran over some kids and then started making comments like, well, the parents were probably better off because I gave them some more money than they had and all this sort of shit. So I actually
and that
liked...
that was during his sexual dalliance.
Yes, it was. I actually liked...
Not actually during.
I actually liked that part of it, that he starts spilling the beans and you're sitting there going, right, so the bloke that we were led to believe was one of the few good ones all along.
Yeah, he's a scumbag.
He's a scumbag. Well. And so... I mean, there's a couple of other... I reckon they would have been better off, in some sense, keeping O'Keefe alive for longer because it seems like when you look through the whole crew, Jaden, and I can't remember who the other one was. There was only a handful of them that actually... Christy was actually... They were the only ones that did seem to be what you would say is good, especially after Liv actually kills them to... I did like that Liv went to that length, but it was sort of like once Theo starts spilling that sort of stuff, I was like, oh, okay. And so that kind of made sense. But the whole thing about Dr. Trin saying, if I don't return with an heir, you're all in the shit. I know that Liv kind of set it up to make it look like Dr. Trin had done it all to everyone. Well, she had, so I don't know, but the whole Theo Vincent angle. But if she's still not coming back alive, so if she's left some fucking...
so how do you get your inheritance?
Yeah, so I didn't get that part.
There was some unanswered questions.
It would have been better off if she didn't say that. If she just said, I've got something on all of you. But but the fact that she said I have to return with an heir, and if I don't return with an heir, that you're all done. Well, she didn't return, and it didn't seem like anyone got in the poop for anything.
And also, just a quick tip for Theo in the future, mate. You just got through it all. Just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, possibly.
You know, stop rambling on with bullshit.
Yeah.
5 seconds after getting laid. Like, just fucking go with the flow, mate.
Yeah.
Because he was going to get the money as well, because it was sort of that they had now sort of become a pair, so to speak. Or do you think she was always looking to double cross?
Well, as soon as she said lay here, I thought that was what she was going to do. But I don't know if it was intended that was always going to be the case.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, because once he started up his fucking rampant bullshit, she decided to break his neck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like that might have been how it played out.
So Theo, stay cool. You know?
Yeah.
Fucking don't ramble on about marriage and, oh yeah, I ran over some kids, their families will be fine.
Yeah.
Keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, I think, you spilled the beans too early there, mate. If you needed to at all.
Rule of thumb, wait till there's cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
Before you start making stupid fucking comments.
Yeah, before you start admitting to manslaughter and then saying, oh, it probably wasn't too bad anyway. You probably want to secure things before you start talking about like that.
Mate. Yeah, is that money in my account? Oh, the other day I ran over some kids. You know, shit. I thought I need to get it off my chest. So, overall, I was very happy with the series. I'd love to see a season 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be interesting to see where they might go with that. Hopefully Shudder will continue with this. Use it as one of their sort of Shudder originals or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it's always hard to see the viewership with these streaming services and whatnot, but I believe it's done okay for them, so it would be good to see it continue.
What would you like to see?
What would I like to see?
Into quite a few places now.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer, I guess. The thing I dug about this one was the game aspect of it, and the scummy sort of family that was amongst it. It changed the whole tone of things. It was a lot more fun, more comedy, more sort of dark humour than previously as well. So I feel like, I don't know. I don't know specifically what we could say that would be good to see them go with, but I think being a little bit looser than just some of the more standard slasher fare they went with in the earlier seasons obviously worked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right, that is Slasher. I hope you enjoyed that. Going through each episode week to week. We certainly did. I enjoyed the series a heap. We're back onto usual programming from now on. But until the next episode, take it easy, and we'll catch up with everyone later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.